Hey guys, and welcome back to the Clips channel. We are continuing with Q&A. So if you didn't see, over on the main channel, I did a Q&A video. It's out right now, so you can go and watch that. Those questions were more kind of investing based. I wanted to keep that video more about the stock market and investing to be as helpful to the main channel viewers as possible. But on the Clips channel, we get to let our hair down and have a little bit more fun. So I got so many questions on the Q&A post that were more just kind of related to me and my perspectives on this and that and whatever, really. So this is going to be another Q&A video, but more focused on the more personal, opinionated maybe questions, as opposed to more of the investing questions. So hope you enjoy it nonetheless. If you're interested in the other Q&A video, then I'll leave it linked up on the screen right now, so you can go and check that out on the main channel. But with that said, let's get stuck into it. So Just Invest Today asks 3 things that helped grow your channel. Well, I think, so this is really interesting, and it's kind of like the secret sauce question that a lot of the smaller YouTubers are interested in. When you're first starting out with a YouTube channel, trying to grow, you got to recognize that, okay, you don't yet have an audience. So the most important thing with your videos is, firstly, you got to get people to click on the videos when it gets recommended to them. So in that sense, the title and the thumbnail are really critically important in the early days to get people to watch your videos. But then once they're watching your videos, then the next step is obviously to get them to stay, to stick around, to give you that full amount of watch time and to subscribe to your channel. So the first step is definitely make sure your titles and your thumbnails are on point and very intriguing. Again, not clickbait, because that just doesn't work as a strategy. It's just, yes, you get people to click on your videos, but people hate you after being clickbaited. So that's definitely not the way to go. But intriguing, truthful titles and thumbnails are the way to go. Then once they're on your video, you want to try and be as entertaining as possible. You know, you want it to be well edited. You want it to be very informative. So make sure you do your research on whatever topic it is that you're talking about. Either be really informative or be really entertaining to help people kind of stick around. And then from there, you know, I could say a whole plethora of best practices. You know, consistency. You know, you want to be there for your subscribers. You want to really treat your subscribers with respect. You know, they're supporting you, so, you know, be there in the comments section. You know, talk to them, acknowledge them, and build a community, as opposed to just being a YouTuber that posts videos. So that would kind of be my top tips to start out, or to help grow your YouTube channel. And the other thing I'd say is, remember, it can literally come down to one video. Like the one video that helped my channel take off was the video I made about arbitrage betting. I mean, just looking at that video, I've got 27,000 subscribers from just that video. If we look at the video that I posted before I released that amazingly high-performing video, I only got 4 subscribers from that one. So it does show you that it really just does come down to hitting that one video that starts things off for you. So thanks very much for your question, and let's move on to the next one. Hopefully that was helpful. This one comes in from Daniel. How do you stay on track / motivated? I think for me, it comes pretty naturally. I think it definitely helps to be a very competitive person. I am very competitive, so much so that you would not have liked to have known me when I was a kid, and I didn't realize that some of the competitive behavior is probably a little bit frowned upon. But it definitely does help to be naturally competitive to stay motivated. Obviously, to stay motivated, you've got to have some sort of plan, some sort of goal, some sort of thing that you're trying to achieve. Otherwise, you know, you just won't be inspired to try and work towards anything. So yeah, I think just, you know, having a plan that's achievable, having something that, you know, is definitely achievable, but also having a long-term goal that kind of keeps you chipping away, keeps you in the game, because you'd hate to get to like a short-term goal and then just stop. So yeah, just having goals, having things that you want to achieve, being driven, being motivated. Find what motivates you. Like, everybody's motivated by something, so just find what's motivating for you and try and tap into that. The next one comes in from Brandon, fellow Brandon. Hello, Brandon. I don't think I've probably met like 1 or 2 Brandons ever, like in person. But Brandon, I feel like, is quite an uncommon name, especially here in Australia anyway. I think it's more common in the United States. But Anyway, regardless, hey Brandon, love your content. Oh, thank you very much. I'm 17 years old right now, and I would love to hear from you the best advice you would give your 18-year-old self. Thanks and keep up the great work. Well, thanks for the question, first of all. Thanks for the kind words. I think advice that I would give to my 18-year-old self would probably be, I would say, if I could talk to, in particular, myself, I would say don't worry about going to uni unless you're hell-bent on a profession that does require you to go to uni. And I would definitely say don't feel the pressure when you're early on, when you're still in your teenage years or when you're in your early 20s. Don't feel the pressure that you have to know what you're going to do. You have to go to uni, or you have to get this job or that job and start working your way up a corporate ladder. I mean, now that I'm 26, I realize that, like, even now, 26, I'm incredibly young. And what I did at uni, now I did physiotherapy at uni, I don't even do that anymore. So, I'm now a full-time YouTuber, and, you don't need any qualifications to be a YouTuber. You just have to have a topic to talk about and a bit of a passion behind it. And then, you can make your way on a platform like YouTube. So I think, the advice I would give myself is just to calm down. You don't need to lock yourself in. Don't feel like you have to be doing this or that and you have to be here by this age. In your 20s, just figure out what you really want to do, and I would encourage you to just chase it really hard. So, follow your passions. Don't follow what this person or that person tells you to do. These days you can monetize basically anything, any passion, any profession you want with platforms like YouTube. Just having so many people online these days, you can start online businesses related to anything really. So that would kind of be my advice that I would give myself, is to not stress, not feel like you have to lock yourself into something. Take your time, explore what you want to do, and chase what you actually do want to do. So thanks for the question, Brandon. Then the next one comes in from Marius. Marius says, what's the biggest opportunity you have missed? Biggest opportunity I've missed. I think I always wanted to start a YouTube channel, but I watched YouTube for many, many, many years before I actually decided to make a YouTube channel. So I think the biggest opportunity that I would have missed would have been starting my YouTube channel even earlier than I did. Granted, maybe that wouldn't have worked out, because then I would have been talking about, passive investing and finance and whatnot as like a 16-year-old, which, I don't know, maybe people wouldn't have really resonated with that. But I still think doing something on YouTube earlier in the piece would have been better, because with YouTube, it's just a matter of time. You just got to stay consistent, keep your content high quality and engaging, and it is just a matter of time. Eventually, you'll hit that spark. So if I'd started a few years earlier, I would have hit that spark a few years earlier, and I would have been even further along the journey now. But that's probably the biggest opportunity that I would say I missed. Well, I got there eventually, right? All right, thanks for the question. Now, moving on, next one we have is coming in from Josh. Have you ever considered moving to the US? Yeah, I mean, honestly, the whole, anyone walking down the street can just have a gun thing kind of puts me off of living in the United States, but certainly the United States is right up the top of the destination list that I want to go on holidays. And, I've been thinking, how do I want to do a US trip? I don't think I want to do it in, go to California for a week and then fly home. I think I'd want to stay there for like a couple of months and really get to know, one particular part of America, or, do a cross-country trip or something like that. But I definitely want to come to America. I'm not sure if I'd live there, but I think America's got a lot of good things going for it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. All right, so thanks for the question, Josh. Next one comes in from Nick. Where did you learn all that investing stuff from? Honestly, most of the investing stuff I've learned is from books. Rule 1's a great place to start. I recommend that one to all of my friends as well that want to start investing. I tell them just read Rule 1 to get a feel for how proper investing is done. The Dando Investor is another good one. But apart from that, really, you just learn from the best. Like, learn from the people that actually implement the long-term investing strategy and get remarkable results in doing so. So learn from watching interviews by Warren Buffett, learn from, reading articles and try and reverse engineer the different moves that Monish Pabrai or Warren Buffett or Charlie Munger is making, and just, I would learn, almost learn from their example. And of course, Warren Buffett, like, he puts out an annual letter every year, so you can learn what he's thinking about the markets and investing, once a year, which is a great update. So those kind of tools are very handy. That's kind of how I learned to invest. So thanks for the question there, Nick. Now, next one comes in from Sam. Love your channel, mate. What's your take on cryptocurrency? Well, my take on cryptocurrency, like, I'm not going to hate you forever if you invest in cryptocurrency. Like, do what you like, really. But for me personally, I just don't like to invest in non-productive assets. So obviously, businesses, they have business operations, and that produces cash flow, and therefore that cash flow has, those business operations have some sort of value that you can calculate or estimate. Whereas when it comes to even something like gold, gold is just, it's yes, you can use it in some like electronics and whatnot, but really it's just a financial asset which is really not used for much. It doesn't produce anything. So how do I know what a bar of gold is worth? In the same way, what is the value of one Bitcoin? You own it, and the asset doesn't actually do anything for you. At the moment, you just hope that one day you'll sell it to someone else for a higher price. And I just personally just don't invest in stuff like that. So that's kind of my take on cryptocurrency. So thanks for the question, Sam. And the next one comes in from Huis. How would you plan your finances if you're going to retire in the next 5 years? Well, I mean, I'm pretty conservative, so I mean, you wouldn't want to do anything rash as maybe a 60-year-old if you're wanting to retire in 65 or something like that. I mean, at that point, it's mainly just about preserving what you've got and maybe just adding a little bit more. So, you wouldn't want to take massive risks, in just investing in the stock market. You've got market risk. Like in 5 years, the stock market could very well be lower than where it is today, in which case you would have lost money. So honestly, if you're planning on retiring, I'd just look at more of the fixed income route, the low risk, almost guaranteed, small but guaranteed returns, just to give you that final little push towards your retirement. But I think, like Warren Buffett's rule number one is don't lose money. So I think when you're approaching that time and you want to retire, the main thing is protect what you've already got. Don't put it at stake where you could potentially lose it. So that would be my advice there. Well, my thinking. Of course, I don't give advice, but that's my thinking if I was looking to retire in 5 years. Jarman asks, will you ever do Australian content again? We need Aussie Wealth Creation back. Yeah, it's been a while now since we had Aussie Wealth Creation. In all honesty, in the early days, all of my subscribers and my viewership was from Australia, and still a fair portion of you guys are from Australia. But it's increasingly the United States. Also, me personally, most of the companies that I look to invest in are in the US. Like, there's very few Australian companies that I look at and I go, wow, that's super interesting, value investing approach, I want to buy into that. So naturally my investing kind of just drifts me more into the US, but I'll still make a habit every now and again. If I'm mentioning a stat, I might give the Australian stat as well as the United States stat. But the harsh reality is all the views and the growth in YouTube is kind of in the United States. So I wouldn't want to neglect that growth opportunity as well. But maybe one day I'll do an Australian specific channel on the side, like what Aussie Wealth Creation used to be. But nonetheless, thanks for the question there, Jarman. And last one we'll do is from Cruz. Who is your inspiration? Well, I think most people, if I gave you one guess, you'd probably hit the nail on the head. Probably the person I look up to the most is Elon Musk. In terms of the business and investing world, there are plenty of people I look up to outside of investing, business, that sort of realm. But yeah, Elon Musk, I just like the way he goes about it, He's in it for the right reasons. You know, I think he's got a strong sense of what is right and what is wrong, and he seems to conduct his business in the right manner. And you know, I like the way he goes about it, how he's always pushing to improve. He doesn't ever kind of rest on his laurels. He doesn't ever say, you know, that's good enough. We can just, you know, milk this for all it's worth now. He's always pushing, he's driven, he's hardworking. I think he's just a great guy to look up to. And I just like the fact that he makes sure that he isn't reliant on anybody else. You know, he gets in there as a leader of his companies. He gets in there and he is on the front lines. Like he knows the ins and outs of the general assembly line. He is the lead designer and engineer on the rockets that SpaceX builds. So I think that's really admirable as a leader, to actually lead from the front lines. Don't just lead from the watchtower like a couple kilometers back saying, yeah, everybody, go forth, you know. So that's why I really look up to him for a whole range of reasons, really, but that's one of them. But yeah, anyway, guys, that will just about do us. Thanks for all the questions. I really appreciate it. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight into what I'm thinking about. Hopefully those answers were helpful to the questions. Thanks very much for sending them in. I really appreciate it. And thanks also for supporting the Clips channel early on too. I really do appreciate you guys being here, being subscribed, leaving likes, giving watch time to all these Clips channel videos. I honestly really do appreciate it, because it is so hard to get a new channel up off the ground. So you guys are really helping fast track that process, and I really appreciate it. So yeah, thank you very much. But apart from that, guys, that will just about do us for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it or if you found it useful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.